me see. Am I? Okay. I am Vicki Jenkins, and I am the co-president of the Learning Tree. Excuse me. I am the co-president of the Community Library of Mississippi, and we are having this Learning Tree Book Club fair. And we think that everybody, I'm sorry. We're having this book fair, and we look forward to everybody coming and joining us and reading with us. All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Talia Hines. I'm 11 years old. I go to Jen Snell Elementary School, and I'm going to the 5th grade.
Okay, Ms. Kellyanne, it seems to be just the two of us. So we're going to have to just get started and take it. I can let you go first.
Okay. What I've been reading is Princess Ponies by Princess Ponies and the Enchanted Heart. I'm on chapter. I'm still on page. Divine spell. Then enchantment will be full of love, just like it was before. It took ages for Pilgrim and Stardust to search the wild forest. They saw plenty more wild ponies. Most argued, but they didn't find the spell book. Now what? Asked Stardust as she stopped at the river to drink. Pimple and slide from her back and kneel down. She drank beside Stardust. Cup her hands to catch the water. When she had enough, she put her arm around Stardust's neck. Stardust, I know how much the spoken old counselor fears you, but it's the most place to divines to keep her spell book. Please can we look there next? Stardust stayed silent for ages. When she finally spoke, it sounded as she When she finally spoke, it sounded as she was angry with herself. You're right, of course. I don't want to go there. We have to search it, but it's so scary. Finally, she took a deep breath. We have to go there, don't we? Yes, Pilgrim nodded, but we can face it together. Stardust let out her breath in a minor whine. Let's get started. Chapter 4. As Stardust and Pilgrim neared the edge of the wild forest, Pilgrim caught glazing of the 8 tall towers of Stale-side Castle, rising up of the tree county. From each tower, a flag whipped in the breeze. The different color makes a rainbow. Pilgrim wished they were heading there to Stardust's bedroom at the top of the small tower, flying the pink flag instead of the main climbing castle. I wish we could go home, said Stardust. Echo Pilgrim thought. I got a new main brain said. We could be braiding each other's hair with a man's horseshoes and star instead and chasing after the vine. They crossed the field and entered the grassland. In a distance, a dark brown pony with 4 shackles was pulling a milker. Stardust was pleased to see her farmer friend and broke into a point. Hello, Marker. You look busy. Marker glared at Stardust and Pippa. Out of my way, he ordered. There's no time for ideal chatter. I got lots of fields to set or there won't be any wheat to harvest. Marco usually had a lot of horses to help him on the farm, but we are all from foreign ponies, ex Pilgrim. They won't stop arguing with me, so I sent them home, said Merc. Get out of my way, will you? There work to be done. We will help seed your farm, won't we? Won't we, Stardust? Stardust looked at and hesitate, so Pilgrim slide from her back. It won't take long. Remember how much fun we'll have out at the time. Stardust tilted her head as she tried to remember. Yes, she agreed at last. She smiled at Merc. Please let us help you, Merc. Really, you'll do that for me? Milk lips twitch, and then he smiled back. Stardust, you'll take his seed drill. Pilgrim, come with me, and we'll get a couple more from the barn. Drilling the farm was hard work, but it makes Pilgrim legs itch. But then she looked back. At the newly drilled soil behind her and imagined the seed snuggled down in their cozy earth bed as they appear to the grow. And the happy feeling it gathered her was enough to serve on her until the job was done. Milk was delighted and invited them back to the farmhouse to share a tasty stuff of warm carrot juice with oats. This is delicious, said Pilgrim, sip from the special cup that Merc kept for her. You're welcome, said Merc, wipe his mouth. Your kindness means a lot to me. It may be original how unfriendly I was. I'm going to invite my farm ponies to lunch to say sorry for the argument with them. Would you like to say?
Excuse me. How far have you come? How many chapters do you have in your book?
I just got to read it, chapter 3. I only read 2 pages.
Okay, you got 2 pages. Okay.
There will be honey. Okay. Stardust signed. That sounds yummy. I wish we could, but it's divine fault that everyone is being unkind and grumpy. Everyone has forgotten how to love each other. Pilgrim and I are trying to find her spell book and put things right before she ruined Chandler. Milk walked Pilgrim and Stardust to the edge of the grasslands. Good luck, Paul. If anyone can beat divine, it's you two. Pilgrim jumped onto Stardust's back. Hold on tight to her mane as they made their way along the rust path through the horseshoes hills. The hills were steep and the pathway wide. The higher they climbed, the colder it got. Snowflakes wingled in the air and landed on Pilgrim until she was white as stardust. And I'm gonna stop right there. I was on page 52.
Yes. Tell me about Starbuck. Who is she?
Stardust is kind of like Stardust is kind of like a white pony. She's her and Pim was trying to go to defeat Divine because she put a horrible spell on Chandler, which Chandler had so much love that every pony had cared for each other. But the vow took that away because the prince and the princess, the king and the queen, did not love her as much as they loved the pony. So she put an evil spell on Chandler to make them unkind and grumpy. Sometimes they'll be grumpy, and sometimes they'll be kind.
Oh, okay. Well, then I am still in the Lily Darling, and I am now on chapter 4. I walk over to Jericho's house, after school instead of going straight home. As part of me is relieved too, because I don't want to go to Michelle on the bus. I don't want to see Michelle on the bus this afternoon. And from on the way she has been staring down, I am pretty sure she is still upset about what went down this morning. And to be honest, all that energy I was still feeling this morning has not worn off. I want to share good news with her since she didn't come to school that day. A thunderstorm could be heard leaving in the distance. Strategically, I walked around small puddles of water, the rain dripping from the roof shutters and sidewalks below sounded like tapping drums. I watched the raindrops zigzagging back and forth across the windshield of the cars parked on the side of the road, searching frantically for another raindrop, as if each drop had a magnetic attraction on the other two, would intervene to one bigger raindrop and sped down the windshield out of sight. The splashing of the recent falling on the raindrop on the street against the car tires going to the destination unknown would be only sound besides the distant grumbling. Under the belching from the departure of the gray skies, overlooked the gray with eerie overcast. Usually round this time, the sky would be hued in the west. The silhouette of birds heading to the world added finishing touches to the artist's masterpiece. The usual joggers with their earplugs tucked securely inside their ears, pushing along the final mile of their daily workout. So we were nowhere to be seen. So they were nowhere to be seen. It was oddly quieter today. Not that the small town was filled bumper to bumper traffic with angry cab drivers yelling out partially open windows you can see in New York City. No one's reasonable, but over the last few years, fellow companies would be seen surrounding differences in the cab company for the people who did not want to take a city bus. The sounds of the rustle and the bustle of the hundreds of people in the interaction of the time would be replaced by the morning hello and the neighboring to go outside to take the garbage out. Discussing of the weather and debates over the whether New England Patriots would make it to do the Super Bowl the fifth consecutive time among the group of old retired men sitting in their barbershop for their weekly cut would fill the air. Did you get everything that was said at that time? Callie? Hello? Earthy Kelly, did you get anything from what I was trying to read this time? Want to ask any kind of questions? Yes. What questions would you like to ask?
I had my question and I forgot what it was.
You forgot. Okay. My mind began to wonder the reality of the signing up for the talent show set for Friday. The other contestants may have just as been signing up just as I have. And they have signed up with their John Hancock on the sheet of paper for it meant signing up to give the world a piece of snippet. I would actually am. A piece of snippet that I actually am. Given the stage means showcasing my deepest emotions through the dancing of the entire school. Dancing is easy for me, and privacy is for my own privacy in my own bedroom. But now I've signed away the right to privacy, forcing me to leave the comfort of my isolated island I had intentionally placed on myself for the past few years. If you don't give me slime, I'm going to beat out the breakers of you. If you don't give me slime, I am going to beat. Okay, let me see. I'm going to beat the breakers out of you. I could see all of the slender community at elementary school aged boy. I could see a tall, slender elementary school boy holding the collar of a small, frightened boy as I walked by the alley. It separated the quick stop convenience store and walked past a small family-owned Chinese restaurant. It had been there for years. I don't have any slime, stammered the young boy, clutching hard on his book bag. If I find that slime, anyone, anywhere on you, you're going to get even the worse. So far from what I've read here, the gist of what I've read here so far is really just talking about how the world has come to and how the world is coming and how Lily is facing. And I need you to listen more closely and see if you can find a word that find a question. And I know given given it work, it might not be anything you might have a question for, but if you could come up with a question to ask, that would be good. Is there anything so far that you've heard that you need to ask a question?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. I don't have any slime, stammered the boy, clutching the hard book bag. If I find the slime anywhere on you, you're going to get even worse. Letting go of the collar of the taller boy began to pull on his book bag. Hey, what are you doing? I quickly intervened, walking swiftly. Get between the two, startled the book. Get between the two, startled, looking around, lacking angrily, laying angry eyes on me. No one of business, not of your business, just getting something there is owed to me. Hey, what are you doing? I quickly intervened, walking swiftly between the two. Startled, he looked around, laying angry eyes on me. None of your business, just getting something that is owed to me. Well, it looks to me like you're trying to take something away, take something that does not belong to you. Grabbing hold of the book bag, I nudged myself between the whispering smaller boy and the bully. Didn't I tell you to mind your own damn business? Standing close, I could feel in the heat of the breath directly on my face. Say it, don't spray it, I retorted. Daring him to say something, daring him to do something about my interference. I stood over 2 inches taller than him, and I was at least 50 pounds his senior, and wasn't afraid of physically altercation if it came down to it. Furiously sizing up the head to be taller, furiously sizing me up from head to toe. The taller boy took a step back, sign of took a step back in a sign of surrender. You better be glad I don't hit girls. You better be glad I don't hit girls. You got my mama to thank for that. Furiously sizing up head to toe, the taller boy took a step back in a sign to surrender. You better be glad I don't hit girls. You got my mama to thank for that. Eyes fixed on me, stepped back a few more paces with a quick look over to the small fright guy. That clearly meant until the next time. Eyes fixed on the eyes fixated on the top of the back of a few more paces with a quick look over the still frightened boy that clearly meant until next time. walked out the alley. Are you okay? I asked, handing the book bag to him, looking down at the innocent shaking boy, which I was full of fear and sadness, now held a glimmer of hope. Yeah, am I right? The boy replied as he reached into his front pocket and pulled out a small sandwich bag full of dark purplish substance. Hey, he didn't get my slime. He smiled victoriously. No, he didn't. I found myself smiling as well over the small feet. What is your name? He stretched his hand out, giving me a firm handshake. I am Julius. I'm Julius Littleton. I swear you couldn't have come at a better time. Jared, I swear that you could not have come at a better time. Jared has this habit of picking on me and taking anything I got. The way you were glimmering, the way you were gripping the book bag, I thought you had something important in it. No, no. Julius, admiring the bag, just held his head. I knew he would think that it would be in there if I acted like I didn't want him to get it. You're kind of slick, aren't you? I asked in admiration. Well, I may not be to the beating physically, but I do have the ups on him mentally. Jared didn't come brightest in the star in the sky anyway. Fortunately for me, he said, finishing me, sly smile. He said, flashing to me a sly smile. I found myself smiling. Julia small in a small stature and held a big personality. Where are you headed? I'll walk with you rest of the way, just in case Hulk returns. I'm Lily, by the way. I'm headed home. I was just leaving school tutorial. Went to Jared's. Jared saw me inside the convenience store. The way he bolted out the store, you would think he was blood-sucking vampire. And this human and blood-sucking vampire. And I was his human prey. I know all is well, and it feels like it's able to go through the day routine. And the word feels about like Jared, making you feel like living in hell. And for that reason, you prompt bullying. Get up in the morning and decide to be bullied. Decide to be bullied on another person. Does it take from the feel? Does it take it? Does it make it feel good? Because themselves, does it make it feel good for themselves by making the next person feel bad? And if it does make them feel good, it is wrong with them and is pushing old woman down the stairs. An innocent woman, innocent human, a decent human, feel awful. Even to think about it, think about doing it. So what is the difference between me and an old woman? What's the difference between Julius and an old man? blood flowing through their bodies, just as it flowed through ours. We all have feelings. We walked in silence until we reached Grandma Cooper's house. This is a stop here. This is a stop here. This is my stop here. How much further is your house? I asked. I'm just a street over. Will you be walking tomorrow? I'm just planning on it. By the way, he asked me to feel like I would not disappoint him. And if I don't agree to walk with him. Yeah, maybe I'll see him around then. Maybe I'll see you around then. Going to the candy lady house? You going to the candy lady's house? Julius asked with curiosity. Yeah. You want to come for a few? Yep. I want to see her house made of gingerbread. Really, Julius? What curious minds wants to know, Julius shrugged. I could see Grandma Cooper's house sitting on the couch. Grandma Cooper sitting on the couch with an open door. Briefly tapped and let myself in. Hey, Miss Cooper. I leaned over and kissed her on the cheek. How are you doing today? This old clock still ticking and smiling and slowing other dudes. This is Julius, I said, pointing to Julius. I want you to introduce him to Jerica. Okay, as long as he don't have Spider-Man fingers, said, staring at Julius. No, ma'am, I just want to be Peter Pan. But Denzel is my first cousin, and I just moved in, and you can tell from my devilish good looks, said Julius, giving her a charming smile while waggling his eyebrows. What we're talking about here is that bullying. Have you ever been bullied in school? Talisha, have you ever been bullied in school? Have you ever felt any of this? Could you speak? Okay. Have you ever experienced any bullying in school? Has anybody ever bullied you?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever bullied anybody?
No, ma'am.
What is bullying?
Bullying is when you talk about people, like how they look, how their style look, how their hair look. That's bullying. And calling other names.
So now, is that something that is there something that the school principals and teachers allow? Probably not, huh?
Teachers, principal, parents do not allow bullying.
What would be the discipline if a teacher or a principal of authority would see someone bullied? What would be the discipline? Do you know?
They might get in trouble, or they might get detention or expelled for it.
Oh, okay. aside from what we're talking about right now for bullying, and I know this is probably, you know, this is probably a dull reading right here, but do you have anything else, questions to ask about this? Yes, no, maybe so?
Well, one of the pages that you read, I had a question, and my question was, why was the boy lucky that he couldn't hit the girl?
Excuse me, say that again. Why was the lucky?
One of the pages that you read, one of the sentences said that he was lucky that he was lucky he can't hit a girl.
Oh, he was the bully, and he was the one that was going to hit somebody. And what Lily was, she was a bigger girl, and she stood out. So if he had attempted to hit her, Lily would have hit him back, and she was bigger than he is, bigger than he was. That's why he came off to say, "Oh, but that's why my mama wouldn't let me hit a girl." So if he did, and Lily hit him back, he would not have got hurt in the shade. And when someone says that to some extent, that is what they're doing. They're trying to protect themselves for something that they could not do. Well, you need to thank my mom that I couldn't hit a girl. And that's something that a bully or would say or do so he wouldn't get hurt, for having to be involved in a fight or an altercation like that. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else right now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we got one more page of this chapter. What is your next chapter? You going to read another chapter? Or you?
I'm still reading chapter 4. I was on page 52, but I got like 3 more pages. Three more pages. 2 more pages to get to chapter 5.
Okay. Continue reading if you like.
Her hands were turning blue and her teeth chattered louder. It's not fair now, called Stardust. Your hands feel icy. Put them under my mane. Stardust's silky mane was just the warm thing to warm up Pilgrim's hands, and she sat back and enjoyed the ride as the path windy and climbed a hill. At the top of Stardust stop, Divine Place doesn't look as bad in the snow, she whined. The snow soft the castle gently. The walls and made the messy front door seem smaller. Pilgrim stared at the chimney, shade her eyes from a bright ring of winter sunlight with one hand. There's no smoke, she said, for a heart filled with relief. The vine's not here. Careful, Stardust made her way around the side of the building to pick up her hood to involve traps over the trails of ivory have burned in snow. Pilgrim stared through the dirty window. Skills. But all the rooms were empty. There was now here to hide a spell book. As they passed the kitchen, Pilgrim's heart dropped against her chest. What would you find in the Vision Laboratory? Might Divine be working in another evil spell? Stardust stopped at the largest window. Can you see anything? She asked. Pilgrim wiped the glass and cleaned herself and Pilgrim into the room. On a large oak table, a set of rounded bottle glass flake around connect together with rubber tubes, metal stands, and clips. Laps were standing gray, and there was a trail of gray liquid that ends in a puddle in front of the tail fridge. Pilgrim Silvers was the potion that had caused the love to leave Chandler. Her eyes fell on a bookshelf mounted on the wall, and she read until alone, out loud. Regina or Regine, Tales of Magic, Snail, Frog Tales. Pilgrim spotted a gasp between Regina or Regine and Tales of Magic. Look at the big space. I bet there where Divine keeps her spell book. Where Divine keeps her spell book, Stardust explained. She must have taken it with her. So where has she gone? Pilgrim racked her brain until her head aches. Where else on the island was Divine like to go? I know. She yelled. She might have gone to her old laboratory in the volcano. Stardust was doubtful. The volcano ponies would never allow her back. Not able, she tricked them into thinking that she was trying to save Telva, but if Divine has cast her spell over the whole island, then the volcano ponies will be as grumpy, as miserable as everybody else. They might be too busy arguing with each other to notice if Divine sneak in the back. You're so clever. You're so clever, Pilgrim. Stardust. Let's try the volcano next. Spinning on a roof, Stardust set off for the volcano. Pilgrim leaned forward, loving the feel of the wind in her waves. Hairs and Stardust glowed faster. If the solution were so serious, then the hunt for the spellbook would be great fun. Chapter 5. The volcano was at the far end of the island. To reach it, Pilgrim Stardust had to pass through the cloud forest, home to the unicorns. Pilgrim hoped they see some of their unicorn friends there. As Stardust picked up the way through the axe trees and thick vines. What's that? Stardust stopped suddenly with a vine drive over her mane. Her ears streamed into the side. Can you hear voices, Pilgrim? Let's out to sign. Oh no, she said, hearing a hard, angry voice instead of the unicorn's softly magical tone. Even the unicorns are arguing. That's bad. Should we try and stop them? No time. Better to find the spell book and receive divine magic. Stardust picked up her pace, easier to reach the volcano. They left the cloud forest and wound their way up the tree tours mountain path. The falling snow sizzles as it sails off the hot path and turned into a slippery black slug. Stardust, delighted, picked up way uphill until the path turned sharply. Ahead was a giant river of molten lava. Stardust called to Pilgrim as she saw it approaching. Ready? Ready, said Pilgrim, warning her facing the heat and finger red river. For a second, Stardust thought, I'm scared. I know, Pilgrim said as she ran her head down on the pony's neck. But you cleared it before, so this time it'll be easier. Yes, said Stardust. Yes, she repeated in more convention. Hold on tight, Pilgrim. Pilgrim gripped Stardust's side with her knees as she took off, hardly towards the lava. For chills by, Pilgrim yelled, her nose wrinkled as the volcano stretched the rotten eggs. For Chilva, Stardust echoed and anchored her neck. She sprang at the lava. It was like flying through Pilgrim as she soared above over the bubble red river to land softly on the other side. Well done, she passed Stardust. I knew you'd make it. Stardust increased her pace as she connects up the volcano. Her warm breath came out in a snort that made white clouds in the freezing air. Pilgrim had forgot how big the castle was at the top of the volcano, she gasped, and surprised that they roamed and bent it bore down on them. The castle had solid walls and multiple elbows towards with tall silk windows that made Pilgrim think that she was being watched by rows of eyes. A mob of orange-red lava swirled around the castle and lapped against the masked front door. What if the nightmare had gone back to serve the van? Stardust asked. Pilgrim correct her friend. It isn't nice to call them nightmares. And I think the volcano opponents would never do such a terrible thing again. The drawbridge was down and Stardust turned across it. The hoofbeat taps on the wood. Two volcano opponents were coal black cloud. Who should have been guarding the door? We're too busy arguing to notice that they had visitors. If you didn't eat the sugar carrots, then who did? Divine, the taller one. You did, of course. The other volcano pony screamed back. Excuse me? Philip saw it from Stardust, back the rap on the door to get their attention. Here's a picture of it when the two ponies were arguing and Pilgrim and Stardust was looking at them while they was arguing. Because they was not guarding at the door. They was too busy arguing who ate the sugar carrots.
Now, Stardust, how did she get involved with the ponies? But what happened to the evil spell that she was trying to put on them?
Well, Stardust, she came all the way to Earth trying to get Pilgrim because Pilgrim already knew about Chanva. Chanva is like kind of like an island with magical ponies. Like, here's some of the names of some of the ponies. You have Queen Moonstone, Princess Crystal, Princess Cloud, Princess Stardust, Princess Honey, King Firestar, Prince Git, Prince Comet, and Prince Storm. Those are all of the horses that was in Chanva. But now, since the Veda put a whole spell on them, they don't know what love is. So now, Pilgrim and Stardust have to find the Veda and her spell book so they could reverse the curse, well, the spell, so they could bring love back to the place. Then to bring love back to Chanza.
So reversing the curse will bring everybody back to Tanza?
It brings back love when you reverse it.
Oh, okay, that's reversing the curse, bring back love. And where was this, what place was this, all of the ponies and everything had been placed there?
I'll say like a magical island, and I'll say magical island, a castle, and a volcano. Volcano.
So now if the curse is reversed, where would they go?
They'll go back home, and they'll
Which
go back to normal.
okay. So let me see. Hey, Miss Cooper. I leaned over and kissed her cheek. How are you doing today? Oh, this old clock is still ticking, she said, smiling slowly on her, smiling, showing off her dentures. This is Julius. As I point to Julius, I want to introduce him to Jericho. Okay, as long as he don't have any Spider-Man fingers, she said, smirking at Julius. No, ma'am, I don't have any. I am not kin to Spider-Man, nor am I kin to Peter Parker. But Denzel is my first cousin. Once I moved as Denzel is my first cousin once removed. As you can tell by the way the devilish good looks, Julius has given charming while wiggling his eyebrows. Grandma Cooper chuckled. All right, house rule number 1. I'll be the only one selling anything around here. That means you'll have to start selling those dreams someplace else. Mr. Washington, you have to be on selling those dreams somewhere else. Julius and I both laughed as we heard Jericho's room, as we head to Jericho's room. I knock on her door and she lets us in. What happened to you today? I asked as soon as I opened her door. Grandma had to finish some paperwork downtown now. I will be staying here for a while. I suggested that I come along with her eyes and her ears. And as I tried to keep her from snapping at anybody, who is this? This is Julius Littleton. It's nice to meet you, Jericho said. No, the pleasure is all mine. My Nubian queen, he said, grabbing Jessica's hand, Jericho's hand, and kissing it. Seriously, who raised this boy? Can I look around? Julius asked. His attention was on the posters on the walls. Sure, she said. Stepping walls allowed and Julius to get stepping aside, allowing Julius to get closer a look. What did you do at school today, Lily? Guess I signed up for the talent show, I said, pointing to myself, almost forgetting for the reason coming over in the first place. That's good. I didn't know when we were having one. I may sign up too. I'm thinking about dancing off of a change by triple X action. XS who? Jericho asked, puzzled. I seriously think that we're living under Patrick's walk before you love I'm seriously thinking that you were living under Patrick's rock before you moved here. Julius, let me hear your song, Jerica says. I'll pull out my phone and play changes. Whoa, who is that? Cardi B outfit? Offset? Who is that? The Cardi B offset scandal? Break up this? Who is, whoa. What is the Cardi B offset scandal breaking is this? Jerica asks, after hearing only the few seconds of the song. What do you think? What you don't like it? How can you not like this song? I asked. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just for the song if you rather trying to win Miss Debbie Downer's award. Drum roll, please. And the award for Miss Debbie Downer goes to Lily Mitchell. Students laughed. In fact, Frick and Frack are laughing at me. It's not what bothers me. It's what bothers me is that the fact that I literally just met these people. Okay, what did you suggest then? I even tried to hide my attention, my irritation. You need something that's meaningful, something that expresses where you've been and where you are now. It should come from the depths of your soul. You're just like soul food. I don't eat nothing that I don't come from the soul. Yep, just like the soul food. I don't eat nothing that don't come from the soul. My girl tried to cook me some nuggets the other day. I was like this saying, why do I need an older woman? Somebody who knows how to feed my stomach, my soul. Julius added. Boy, shut up. You're too young to know about a girl, Jerica said, throwing her pillow over her head. Throwing the pillow over his head. No, Cap, I have a woman. Now, if you want to drop that, now I have a woman. Now, if you want me to drop that zero and make up a room for a shiro. Now, if you want me to drop that zero and make a room for a shiro, I can definitely make something happen, Judy said, just making his eyebrows go up and down. Get him, I said, urging Julius on. I'm urging Julius on. Lily, please don't give this midget the ladder, thinking that he can reach my chance getting at him. Julia said, rolling her eyes. Seriously, what do you have in mind? Okay, I was just thinking about the song, the Andrew Johnson called Exodus. Jerica began that song. I don't know how many gospel songs, but I know my girl, Deandra, and I swear I had closed my eyes, but I had believed that she was right here beside me in every room, singing her heart out. Jerica's voice shook the whole core, and apparently she had the same effect on Julius because he sat with his mouth open and his wide and his eye and eyes wider for the duration of the song. Jericho. That is so crazy. I had no idea you could blow, girl. Got goops bumps all over, rubbing my hands across my arms. I know right. I know right, babe. I know right, baby girl. I just sang my soul right out of my body, throwing me hope, throwing me a rock that I could also take back and go out the window, Julius threw in his make-believe robe, and circle over his head for extra measure. Jericho shiftingly looked away from Julius. The song was a few voices over the mutter in the beginning of show how you can want God to deliver you from past hurt, abuse, depression. This is how where you are. The second part of that says that you are my exodus, are breaking out of stage. You like this is, yeah, like the Israelites broke out of Egypt and told Pharaoh, the hell with slavery. Julius said. Jessica and I both looked back at Julius. What? Don't look surprised, lady. I am God, just waiting for a lucky girl to receive me. Our incredulous stare did not stop. Okay, I was in the sunshine band for 5 years, and I go Sunday school faithfully with my grandma. I know a little something about the Bible. Well, this is your breaking out of the shell. Hide. This is breaking out of the shell you hide in. Let your emotions carry you across the stage. Dance your socks off. Yeah? Want to ship fingers and split toes? Julia said. As he ducked his head from his pillow, we both threw it at him. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
No. What this really is talking about is how you survive. And what is jokingly said that this Julius said was he was God, sent from that he was God sent to revive. It was letting you know that something was coming and God was coming. And let's see here. It was letting you know that everything God had predicted, or everything God was said was here. And that's pretty much all in a nutshell, was that it was already said that God says don't let hurt, shame, bully you. And it's to prevent it and feel better and survive it. That's basically what it is that survive the bullying, survive the hurt, survive the depression. That's really all of what this chapter is about. Survival. That's what this is, survival. Now, the next chapter is Are you done?
I'm still on chapter
Oh, well,
Okay,
continue.
I'm still on chapter 5. I probably like got 4 more pages to go to chapter 6.
Okay, we'll continue.
What? Oh, it's you again, said the small small pony. What have you come to accept us this time? Pilgrim flushed out of court. Of course, the ponies had really read their thoughts. They were very grumpy. They were just grumpy. We're sorry to bother you, she apologized, but we need your help. Please, can we go in? What's in it for us? Just let them in, Ronnie. Interrupt the other pony. You know what the royalty law is like. If you refuse, they only start whining. Ronnie eyes Pimple and Stardust stare. Will you whine? He asks. No, Princess Stardust say. Of course we will, said Pilgrim loudly. In the case, and you go, said Ronnie. Pilgrim had a smile and he hurriedly unlocked the castle door. Side by side, Pilgrim and Stardust stepped into a large castle that was almost identically to the one that stable sides, but without the whispering walls. That courtyard opened up into a maleficent stone beyond with a view into the heart of the volcano. Pilgrim went over and stared into the boiling pool of lava far away beneath her. At first, it made her stomach feel squishy as she gathered away, but after taking several breaths, she was able to look again. The lava hissed and steamed. Look, an oval skittle of snowflakes drilling into it from the cold blue sky above. Look, said Stardust, pointing with a hoof of a figure carved into the rock that encircles the volcano center. Over there by the stone pony is Night Shadow and Equins. Where? Oh, I see them. Night Shadow and Equins, Pilgrim yelled. Over here, Night Shadow and Equins broke out from a finished discussion and glared at Pilgrim. If you want to speak to us, then you come here, said Nightshade. She turned her back on Pilgrim and Stardust and connect arguing with Eve. Oh dear, said Pilgrim. The effect of divine spell is everywhere. Look, like we have to go to them. Pilgrim and Stardust pick up their way along the black stone walkway. It leads them on a winding trail through many caves of all shapes and sizes, carving the achy stone pilgrims. Pilgrim wanted to walk slowly to take it all in, but Stardust pushed on a faster thorn until they finally reached Night Shadow and Elfred. Night Shadow in her eyes, but before she could start being horrible again, Pilgrim jumped in and explained why she and Stardust were there. They explained everything. Extra her face brightens with relief. I woke up on the wrong side of the straws this morning. I'm tired to cheer up, but everything I do makes me feel grumpier. What is love, though? Have you heard of love, Edward? Edward frowned. No, I haven't. Can you eat it? What does love taste like? You can't eat love, said Pilgrim, too shocked to laugh. Love is something you feel. It's an emotional. It fills you up with warmness and happiness. Sometimes it makes you want to sing or dance and send able to stardust. Love can do all that. It sounds amazing. Divine hasn't been here, at least that at least not we know of. But we'll take you to her old laboratory just in case, said Edward. And if you find the spell book, then we like some love too. And Night Shadow, hopefully. The Divine Old Laboratory was in a hiding cave hide deep inside the volcano. Pilgrim's heart thumped loudly as they approached the thick stone door. What would they find on the other side? But they drew closer and the obvious from the thicker layer of dust. Cobweb. That's no one had been near the laboratory in ages. Ew, squeaked Night Shadow as they opened the door and walked. Listen, stop. And walked straight into a long, thickless cobweb. Help me! Elpis and Starburst back away in the disgusting. Pilgrim don't like cobwebs either or spiders, but she grinned her teeth and moved to help Night Shadow. The webs clumps her hand and she tries to remove them. Night Shadow squirms and stands still. Pilgrim brings her hand along Night Shadow dark next to calm her. She plucked at the strain of cobwebs until there weren't any left on the pony. It was all on her now. Covering the cobwebs, Pilgrim tries not to feel upset, but laughing at herself instead. Her giggles made Stardust and Night Shadow laugh too. Pilgrim cleaned herself up in a big stone sink. Thank you, Pilgrim, said Night Shadow. That was a kind thing to do for me. Oh, she added, I think I'm beginning to remember what is love. It's being kind and putting others first, isn't it? It feels so good. I'm going to be like that from now on. Me too, Love sounds wonderful. I'm going to be epic nice to every pony today. To remind them about love and kindness. That's a great idea. Stardust, she rushed over the nozzle, Night Shadow, and Equus on the neck. But we still need to find Divine Spellbook. We might as well search the lab. Now they were here. Divine's clever. She might have something. Might use cobweb spells to discuss her visit. I'm gonna stop right there because next is chapter 6.
Oh, okay. How close is Stardust to getting her spell? She was trying to reverse the spell. So how close is she to coming to the spell?
Well, I'll say she's not that close. But she went to her old laboratory where she used to work. And she found 2 of the old members that used to be with her all the time when she was working there, was working at that old laboratory. at the volcano, but instead they didn't find nothing else that was hers. They didn't find her spell book yet. So they still looking and looking, trying to find it, but they still haven't found it yet.
Yeah. Still looking and searching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we're on chapter 5. The talent show is less than 2 weeks away, and I find myself going to Jericho's house to practice one more time. Then not. Miss Myers is letting Jericho sign up late too, since she just started school. We both critiqued each other, helped our performance. Julius usually comes over a lot since I've been walking him home every day since meeting him in the alley, even though he spends a lot of his time aggravating us. He usually makes up for being a nuisance by saying something to drum up. We find ourselves laughing and forgetting how annoyed he is. Today he had to help his mom around the house, and he was an only reason why he wasn't walking with him. But only reason why I was not walking with him. At his time aggravating, he usually make up for being a nuisance by saying something so dumb. Find ourselves laughing and forgetting now how annoying he is. Today he has to help his mom around the house, which is the only reason why he wasn't walking with me to Jericho's house. I must admit, I'm pretty geeked up about the talent show too, which comes as a surprise to me because normally I would be scared out of my mind. There is something different about me nowadays. It started small, like wearing what I wanted to wear, without worrying about the opinions of other classmates. Then I noticed I wasn't looking at the squares lined on the wall. I held my head up, greeting some of my classmates with a slight nod and a smile. I haven't worked myself up to speaking any of them yet, but I got to crawl before I walk. One thing I hate more than anything is that we speak to someone, they don't speak back. So with the head nod to say they are not technically obligated to speak back. They're just bruising my so sensitive ego. My friendship with Jessica really helped my transformation. She helped me turn negative thoughts into positive thoughts. And maybe Mom was right about positive thinking of being emotionally and spiritually. Let me see. Mom was right. But the jury is still out on whether the confidence she holds because she's considered beautiful or she is because she's truly mastered the giving and flying flip about what the other students think about her. I walk up the entrance to Grandma Cooper's house. The front door was wide open, as usual around this time. It is during the peak of the day. It's during the peak of the day, and Miss Cooper likes to sit and watch the children walk home from school and watch cars, parents headed home from work. I can look clean through the screen door to see Miss Cooper sitting on the couch, totally engrossed in an episode of Dr. Phil. I let myself in. Girl, one of these days you're gonna meet a bullet walking in my house like that. You wouldn't shoot me. If you did, who would aggravate you? I was bending over, getting a kiss on her cheek. Nobody. That would be the whole point. Now go get you something to eat. Now go in and get you something to eat. Running me off so that she can go back to her show. One of the many reasons why I love coming over to Miss Cooper, she keeps a meal or snack ready. Today she was freshly baked chocolate chip cookies in an old gallon, in a 5-gallon ice cream bucket. That's nothing. You ought to see her McDonald's cup of collection. Always got to see the McDonald's cup collection. I grab a handful of cookies and peek into her crock pot. See what she was preparing for dinner. Pot roast. You're eating dinner with us, Grandma Cooper asked. I leave the kitchen headed to Jessica's room. Do you really have to ask? I retorted and walked out of the room. Jerica's door was cracked slightly. It was wide enough to see her dancing around her with her headphones, headphones in her ear, singing invisible, and singing almost inaudible words. I think Jerica was being quiet as possible after Grandma Cooper rudely interrupted our bidding NBA young boy concerts she was having Jerica's room at least a week. Grandma snapped like a bucket and snapped peas in the summertime. Do you want to unplug the headphones? I bet I won't either. I want you to unplug the headphones. I bet I won't either. I would much rather keep my headphones attached to my neck, Jerica said jokingly. What you been up to? I asked, sprawling across the bed. Nothing much. Did a couple of dumbass videos I posted on the Instagram. Let me see your video. Stretching my head out, noticing from a phone. Always, I like looking at Jericho's video. Not that did she do anything where she dance moves and better than me, because I am Molly Wop and Fix. I am Molly because I am Molly Wop and Fix, the best of them. We have done some. We have done some dumbest things, dumbest videos together. Before, I would like to see how many, when some of the dumbest videos together. But I just like to see how many likes she gets on from a video. Yeah, I know it's been trivial to some, but I can't help to feel some type of way when she passed her voice, pass her videos, post her videos, and get 60 odd likes. 60 odd likes, 60 odd likes when she's some growth in every new post, every new posting more about our school, following her. And whenever I post something, I get a thrill like 4 if I'm lucky. I shouldn't affect my self-esteem one way or another. And I sit down and wonder whether I could feel complete of any of my pets. I could feel complete if one of my posts get as many likes as Jericho. Would I feel like I have accomplished something? Will I feel important, popular? At the rate I'm going now, I will never know. With hope, one day I will never master bass steps. I will never master bass steps. Lily, let bass steps. Jay, 42 likes, and she just posted the video on her Millie walking in front of the bedroom windows 18 minutes ago. I just rolled down to see all of her all who liked her posts. Probably a lot of people from foreign countries. I bet. Nah, let me stop hunting. Let me stop hurting. Let me stop hating. Indonesia Tate, Anton Robinson, Torrance Chambers, and Desmond Centers. I strolled down to see all of her posts. Probably a lot of people from foreign countries. I can't understand. I clicked one profile pic and directed me to his page and let me see what type of stuff Buckethead Ninja posts. What type of picture Buckethead Ninja posts on his page? Have you already posted one out of the fact? And I can't stand him. I scrolled down his page, reading and looking at the pictures. since I have never had that notion to ever follow him or look him up for that matter. Can't wait for this talent show Friday. If you want to see a female WWE wrestler, you want to see a female WWE wrestler perform, then come to the talent show on Friday. Posted 36 minutes ago. Is he talking about me? Nah. Then again, who else is he talking about? I am dropping out of the talent show. I said, lying down on Jericho's phone on the bed. Confused. Jericho turns and looks at me. Why? What happened? Nothing. I'm just dropping out. Jericho grabbed the phone and looked at it for a moment. Why are you even on Desmond's page, Lily? I couldn't say anything. I really don't know what made me look him up. You know, if you look for trouble, you better be prepared to find it. I wasn't looking for trouble. What do you mean? Now I'm mad. He was going to turn this crap in on as it's my fault. That's exactly what you were looking for. You already know the type of person Desmond is. Then you have to, didn't I tell you? I didn't tell you so. What you put yourself in. Did I tell you so what you put yourself into? What position you allow yourself to hurt you? Allow him to hurt you? So it's my fault that I wrote stuff about me. So it's all right that he talks crap about anybody, about everybody. It's all right. He posts on Instagram. The world would see his post. No one knows damn well that he doesn't condone that crap. But you must take a look, you must take a responsible, you must take responsibility for this. What would you do if you skirmish enough to stand the heat, to stay out of the kitchen? You are nowhere near where you need to be mentally. To go to your drugs, to go to your Desmond page, knowing his history. A lot of people aren't tough enough to view him negatively. And that's why some people, even celebrities, read comments. Why torture yourself? Allowing your negativity into your space. Why give the turmoil of the day? Why give him the turmoil of the day? But you made no reason to look at his page. You can't even post a picture of it at a dance without your worrying about you're worried about who's going to like it. How did you know that? I never told her that. What? You think I don't know? You don't think I know that you posted the dance? What we do together and never post your own? The reason why I hesitated to give you my phone. You don't think I know the number of likes I have? You can't read the like out. You can't read. You can't read. You like a book. Post yourself on Instagram and says you look like how many people like my stuff. You know why? It doesn't matter. You know why it doesn't matter? Because what because of what those kids eat don't make me pop. Doesn't matter what those kids eat, don't make me pop. It doesn't matter if one person likes my picture. I'm feeling myself. I feel like a web and around a great run. I feel like the world should be graced with my pictures. Now, what do we do? What do we look like for me? By feeling myself, much only if I post the pictures. Can I start feeling some type of way because he doesn't because nobody likes my stuff? That would mean I'm weak-minded. That would mean I'm weak-minded. Exactly. And exactly that's why I don't need to be on the social media, because you can appreciate who you are without anybody. You need to be, you need to be, you need to you need to deviate your page until you're ready to post your stuff. Post yourself. Every day you express zero. You're expecting zero. Like every day until you find yourself realizing that you are special, you are still beautiful, are still worthy, are still somebody, even with zero, which is the same thing I did even when I got on Instagram. I will be weak-minded or whatever else you want to go and call yourself, but I'm still not performing at the talent show. I don't want to and don't have to. So you go, give up every time anybody says something bad about you. Jerica asks, the mixture of anger and frustration. Look, all this is about easy way for you, Black Barbie. Easy for you, the Black Barbie. And it's different for me, totally because you are a step there to make sure that you don't forget the lyrics and appreciate the song. I miss you doing something and dance in front of people. You don't even want to speak to me. People don't like me. People even want to hesitate to say something of the on the moment. You people have easy. You know what I have been thinking? you got easy. You have a mom who loves you and cares about you. Do you know where my mom is? No, me neither. You must think it's easy for knowing that I was brought into this world and not wanted by this woman who birthed me. Do you think it's easy for me to hear about, about your mom? Always on the back, but not in the. I'm sorry. That's my situation with your mom and all. That's my situation about your mom and all. But it doesn't make anything any better because it's this talent show goes. You're sorry. I know what you exactly right. You're sorry. What does this what does this what does this Brad think he's talking to? Like I think. Look, look, Jerica, I don't understand why you so mad about my dropping out of the talent show, but I might suggest you chill and watch the mouthpiece on yours. You think understand why. You never understand why. I'm so mad because you're so blind by the pity, blinded by this pity party. You always show whenever you get a little rough. Whenever it gets a little rough. Pity party. You think people laughing at me when I step into the room? This pity party? You think walking to the school is just to avoid foul things? Those people saying it's a pity party? Yeah, it comes a pity party when you decide to slow up party. I know you think that I don't understand how it feels, but we talked about and picked on, but I do. And I am here to tell you that you will never be able to change those people. But what you think about yourself, if you be able to, what you think about yourself, you will be able to, Jim. You won't be able to stop them from. You won't be able to stop them from talking about you. Well, I am not a songbird in this row, in this poem. For instance, I say you have been made a mock courtesy. Excuse me, I have a party to attend. Grabbing my book bag as I walk out the door. I know that was kind of a boring story, but what did you get from that? Did you get anything from that?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you get? I know it's kind of difficult to pick up on because it was really kind of boring to listen to and to read.
I forgot
Basically, and what now, ma'am?
the part that you said. One of the parts that I forgot what you had said on that part. I can't remember.
Oh, well, it'll come to you. Basically, what this is about is that it seems like the further you go up, the harder you come down. And that's basically what it is that she was rising and she was becoming to the talent show, and she was becoming friends with Grandma Cooper and friends with Julius and Jerica. She had these people who she associated with, and they were all becoming close to her. She's becoming close to them. But for some reason, she decided that she wants to look at Desmond's Instagram. And he still said the same things negative. So that in itself brought her back to when she was, when she wasn't growing, when she was still feeling depressed. It took her back to her depression, listening to what he had to say. And that's basically what it was talking about. Jerica brought her up. Julius brought her up. She was doing good, and she felt great. I don't know why she looked Desmond up, and his post brought her back down to depression. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did you get from that?
The part when they made her act depressed.
I'm sorry, what now?
The part when you said they got her depressed.
Uh-huh. Well, what she had come from depression, and she was building herself. Back, you might remember when she started just getting on the bus, she wasn't asking for anybody's seat. She sat and she just took her a seat. And somebody this Michelle, she tried to take her off and tried to mess with her. And she just jumped up and started, talking to herself and for herself. And she was doing good. And she was doing good all the way up until the time that she decided to look at Desmond's Instagram and took her back to her depression. And so she was healing, but she looked at his Instagram and she came back to her depression. And it was so quickly done when you were trying to grow and trying to heal and trying to lift yourself. One particular, somebody says something, somebody does something, and they can bring you back down. And it shows that the more you try, the harder it becomes. You have to keep striving. Yes?
So on that part, why did it make her more depression when she started looking on Desmond's Instagram account? Why make her more depressed?
Because she was starting to think so much for herself and of herself. He went back to being Desmond, being himself, talking so against her. That, stanky. And so he did not come out of himself in that regard. He still said the same thing. Now, why she went to him and listened to what he said, she had some kind of way to think that, well, maybe she was going too far. Maybe she was growing and she was going too far and too fast. That may be what she thought about and what made her look to him so she can, oh, okay, well, that was what I should have done. I should not have given up all of this depression. I should have stayed where I was. That's why she went to look, so he could bring her back to where she thought that she should be. So she hasn't risen, so she just thought she needed to go back to where she was. That means she has to start all over. So what's next for you? You got another chapter? Or,
I'm on chapter 6.
okay.
Pilgrim. Stardust and the Volcano ponies conduct a careful search of Divine Old Laboratory. They lift up every single object in the room and look under it. Pilgrim said through the draught and Stardust empty out the cupboard. They found lots of curious things, including a stuffed horseshoe, a stuffed pig with bells on it, and a whistling body brush, but not the spell book. Pilgrim lungs are clogged with dust, and she couldn't stop coughing until Night Shadow kindly brought her a glass of water. Thank you, she gasped. You're welcome. Being kind is much more fun. Is much more fun than arguing. Well, I got her name right. Pilgrim was disappointed that they haven't found this one spell book, but relieved when she found what she searched was over. As they left the castle, she stared down at Telva's spread out in green and blue with like a map. The sun was sinking, the cave's long finger looks shadow across the land, and the sea body is beautiful here, she said, and sighing. But it won't be the same if love has gone for good and no more remembering how to be kind. Stardust nibbles her nose again. Numb her nose again. Pimble's neck. When I returned to the island today, even I started to forget what love was. But you reminded me, pilgrims. Whatever happens, I won't forget that. Even if we never find the veil spell book. That moment I start to forget what its love is. I'll think of you. I love you, Pilgrim McDonald. Pilgrim wrapped her arms around Stardust's neck, breathing her sweet pony smell as she hugged her back. I love you too, Stardust, every single second of every day. It was a long, cold walk back to Stabside Castle. Stardust walked slowly, her eyes strained in the fading light as she worked out every best to place her hooves to avoid slipping on the silly volcano path. It was age before my final arrived at the cloud forest. It was dark inside, but Stardust managed to find her way back using the light from the fireflies and the shiny wings and fire beneath the dragonflies. As they flew back to their treetop, it was so quiet. I can't hear any argument. Stardust sound hopeful. Pilgrim, listen. She couldn't hear any singing either, and it wasn't good. The unicorns love to sing, What if they manage to receive the vivid spell? Would the unicorns ever sing again? Stardust didn't even seem to be in a hurry to go home. Once they were out of the cloud forest and had to cross over the grassland, she made a detour to the main street. The normally busy street was always empty. Stardust pressed her nose against the glass window of the beauty salon. It's shut, she said miserably. It's never closed this early, I thought. Relaxing in a strawberry scent of bath might make us feel better. Along the road, the other troops were close up to. Stardust tapped her hoop on the ground. I know, let's go to the fairground. They stay open really late. She set off at the fast turn along the street, but as they drew near, the music stopped, unveiling in the rainbow colors like decorations. The rides went out. Stardust marched up to a tall horse wearing a course the nectar chef who was parking the bumper cars. Why are you closing so early? Nothing to stay open for. The horse's name is Rocky, answered. There have been many arguments today. We fairground ponies are too tired to deal with anymore. We're going back to our stables to rest and put our hoodies. Pim stared around the dismay. The silver horseshoe turned snuggle between the old-fashioned levers.
Have you come to a stopping point now?
No, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Our time is up, so we're gonna have to come to a stopping point right now. Our time is up.
I stopped where it says old-fashioned loop posts were a comma. So that's page 81.
Okay. See, it went a little bit faster than we thought, even though it was just the two of us. So now, do you have any questions about anything that we've done so far?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, the time is up. And it went along fast, and I was glad to hear that you had come. I thought maybe you had kind of missed, but I'm glad you did come. So
Yeah, I came.
yeah, you came and you did very good. Now, today is ended. Tomorrow, Monday, is the next day that we will be having our reading fair. Tuesday is the last day, so we do Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
So we hope you have a good weekend, and hope you have fun, and we will see you Monday. Now,
Bye.
Any questions?
No, ma'am.
You know I do this all the time.
Okay, see you Monday.
See you Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.